James, a couple days out from the welterweight debut. Just tell me how you're feeling right now compared to a few days out from fighting at lightweight.
I feel good. Not major difference, a little bit though. I mean a decent difference, but not nothing huge. I wait till the last minute to come and weight anyway.
Right.
It's different. It feels weird because I feel like I'm not sacrificing as much. It's kind of messing with me mentally. Like I don't feel like I'm going to be undersized or small or anything, but I feel like cutting the weight is part of the sacrifice. And
right.
I feel like I technically didn't even start my diet until about 2 weeks ago.
Right.
So it's kind of
yeah, like a weird struggle, right? Because you're just still like, you maybe don't feel like you're doing absolutely everything, right?
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, it's still at the end of the day, I still waited till the last minute to start dieting, so it's still not going to be as easy as it should be, but it's still going to be easier, drastically easier than before. But energy levels similar right now.
Interesting. What about during training camp? Like, did it make any difference there? I know you said you kind of leave it till the last minute, so no. Like, was it kind of the same feeling in sparring and strength and conditioning?
I mean,
anything different there?
Basically the same, very similar. To be honest with you, it's just a matter of eating healthy versus not eating healthy. I mean, I have no doubt in my mind that I can still make the lightweight division. I've never missed weight, and I cheated my diet the entire time I was there, and I never missed weight. If I followed the program the way I was supposed to 100%, especially for a full 6 to 8 weeks, I know I can make it, but at this point, I think it's a good idea to move up.
Yeah, so what ultimately was the decision? Was it, the weight cuts are hard those past the final days, or was it the losses?
It was more the losses. It was the fact that I'm not ranked in the top 15. If I was still ranked, I would have stayed at lightweight 100%. But if I'm not ranked anymore, then it's kind of defeats the purpose, of just trying to fight my way back to the top 15 after it took me, 9 wins in the UFC to get there anyway.
Yeah. So you're going to have to do it in one division regardless, so might as well give it a shot welterweight.
For sure. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so interesting. So I guess I was maybe expecting you to come in here and say, like, maybe, I did certain things in training camp, I'm feeling bigger, stronger, like some of these things you hear athletes say when they're moving up, but it doesn't seem like a ton of that is applying to you.
I think weight cuts are always the excuse for people. I think it's a crutch they use. My losses didn't come from weight cuts. My losses came from technical issues. My losses came from not keeping my hands up, not tucking my chin, technique issues that I've addressed. I focus really hard on addressing, but I'm not going to set up here and blame a weight cut like a lot of these dudes do. That's a weak ass mentality in my opinion.
Interesting. So when you look at those other things that you feel led to those losses, what did you do to address that in preparation between the last fight and this one?
I mean, just several things. I started working a lot with the different boxing coach I have back home in Texas, and then I went to Thailand and I trained with my boy Dorian Price, who he's been over there for years. He's lived in Thailand about 10 years, and I trained at the Fairchecks Training Center. And then I finished my camp with my normal team. Just focused religiously on keeping my hands up. Literally getting slapped every 5 seconds with the pad if I drop my hands. Just obsessive about keeping my hands up and just focusing hard as I could on it. And I feel like I made great progress with that, and I think you're going to see it on Saturday.
Yeah, and I'm sure a guy like Nico Price, who's the opponent on Saturday, is going to be testing whether you're keeping your hands up and everything. What did you make of the name they came to you with for this 170 debut?
Yeah, for sure. He's a good opponent. He's a exciting fighter, just like I am. He's good on the ground, good standing. We both are. I think that he's a big puncher. He got heavy hands for sure. I think it's a good matchup for me. I think that if I avoid getting caught with a bomb, if I keep my hands up and my chin down and I don't get caught with a big shot, I'm going to win this fight. I think pretty easily on the feet. I think that I can outpoint this guy all day, or I can catch him and knock him out. He gets hit a lot. He does take a lot of damage in fights, and I think that he's not going to set back and just accept losing. He's going to take chances. That's what he does, and I do the same thing. So I think obviously if it's close, I'm going to have to do something big because I'm fighting in his hometown. I'm not delusional. It's going to be hard to win a decision here. So unless I just completely dominate really, really big during all 3 rounds, but as a whole, I feel like the only way this guy has a chance to beat me is to land a big overhand or a looping shot, and I'm sure that's what he's game planning for, which, that's what everybody in my whole career is game planning for, is timing an overhand right over a taller guy. until a couple fights ago, no one's ever been able to do it. And but they have as of recently. So these things have to be fixed and addressed, and I felt like I did that.
Yeah, totally. And I mean, at lightweight, you were, I believe, tied for being the tallest fighter on the roster. At welterweight, I think you're still close to there, like one of the taller fighters in the division. But I'm sure guys at this weight are maybe more used to fighting guys that are your size, and maybe it's not as big a quote-unquote advantage. How do you prepare for maybe guys knowing how to deal with your body type a little bit more in this division?
Yeah, it's I mean, I've fought tall guys before. It's been a while. It's been some years since I fought taller guys, and I spar taller guys. And but amateur boxing, I fought a 6'5" guy. I fought amateur MMA. I fought a 6'5" guy. And I fought all my fights before I came to the UFC. Well, not all of them, but all my amateur fights were at welterweights. And then I only had 4 fights when I got in the UFC, and 2 of those were at welterweight as well. So I fought several guys over 6 foot tall. I did that quite a bit. I mean, it's always a different challenge depending on that person and how well they read range and know range, and you'll know that once you get in there.
Yeah. You look at the loss that you did have. I mean, I think those guys are all ranked in the top 6 or 7 at lightweight right now. How do you digest that? I mean, obviously you're doing something here to kind of try to change it up now, but is that something that has been hard for you, and how much pressure are you putting on yourself going into this fight, even though it's a new weight class, to rebound and get that win?
I want to put pressure on myself, because I think that's a part of the problem for me is I'm not nervous anymore. I don't know how to be scared. I don't know how to be nervous, and I go into these fights, and with the problem with that is with when you take away so much of that nervousness, you also take away the excitement. It takes away some of the excitement, so I feel like I'm coming into fights and it's not as exciting as it used to be, because it's not as I'm not as nervous. I'm too relaxed, and I don't know how to turn that on, where I'm not, where I want to be more tense, At the same time, it does suck, losing these last few opponents and then seeing where they're at, but I mean, it goes to show you, I fought some really top guys. I've never fought an easy guy in the UFC. Everybody I fought, especially in the last couple of years, have been, A1 competition. And just 2 fights ago, I had a razor thin decision loss to Felder, who's ranked number 6 in the world. So it's not like I can't still hang with these guys. It's a matter of me keeping my hands up and not getting caught with wild punches, basically, in my opinion.
Yeah. Does this welterweight move depend on the outcome of this fight, or do you think is the door still open for lightweight in the future, or do you think this is where you're going to be going forward?
I mean, we'll see what happens. To me, we'll see what happens. I mean, I plan on winning this fight Saturday, and then then I'm going to talk to the UFC and see what happens. I think it's kind of based on them and me both. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. So is it hard to think past this fight at all? I mean, if I asked you what your goals were for 2020, could you give me an answer? Or is there just so much? I mean, so much is riding on this fight. I'm not delusional. I'm not delusional. I've lost 3 fights in a row. I don't win this fight, I might not be in the UFC no more. I'm not delusional with that. Everything's riding on this fight Saturday night, and I did the best I could to prepare. I can't say that I went and trained harder. I mean, I always train hard. I'm never out of shape. It's not a matter of that. It's a matter of keeping my hands up, and my chin tucked and not getting caught with wild shots. And if I do that, then I feel like there's literally no way this guy can beat me. Yeah, that's all. But let's keep it real. So, what do you think about the fight on Saturday? How do you beat Nino Price?
I think there's a good chance I finish him. I think I can knock him out, or I can submit him. I think he's going to come in. He's going to look for a big looping shot, the first round or so. And if he doesn't land it, I think he's going to try to grapple with me. And I think that he's going to be surprised that he's not any bigger or stronger than me. I'm not a small welterweight, even though I haven't been at welterweight. I'm not small for this weight class. And he's not being a wrestler. His ground game is good. His jiu-jitsu is very good, but he's not no college level wrestler or anything like that. I don't even see him being able to take me down or keep me down. I feel like I could get up immediately, just like anybody I've ever fought. I've never been beat on the ground in a fight, and I think that's going to be a big part of his game plan. If he can't land that one of those looping shots in the first round, I think he's going to try to grapple.